This is how I ended up spending a week in the psychiatric hospital. Ever since I was a kid, I struggled with chronic anxiety as well as depression. When I became a teenager, I discovered that alcohol was great medication for my mental health issues. And by the time I became a married adult, I was already struggling with a serious addiction. As you can guess, my marriage started to slowly deteriorate along with the rest of my life. I became unable to hold a job, to be a contributing member of society, and eventually every single day consisted of doing whatever I had to do in order to stay drunk. No matter how badly I wanted to quit, I was unable to, which shattered my self-esteem and drove me away from my closest relationship. I ended up just wanting to drink constantly to escape the guilt I was feeling. I eventually went to a doctor seeking help for my anxiety, thinking that if I could deal with some of my mental health problems, that would also help me curb my alcoholism. The doctor, who wasn't really aware of the seriousness of my situation, prescribed me a benzodiazepine by the name of Xanax, a highly addictive medication that soon enough had me on my knees, worse than alcohol ever had. That was when things got so dark, I truly lost hope for the future. And in the midst of all that chaos, my wife at the time decided that she had enough and couldn't take any more and left, which absolutely put me into a downward spiral worse than I had ever experienced. Finally, having nothing to call my own, no life, no job, no money, nobody to take care of, nothing to be proud of. At the request of my parents, I decided to check into the psych ward, hoping to detox from the drugs and alcohol and to also find help for my mental health. The week that I spent there forever changed me as a human being, and the other patients I met there and I befriended and I sought advice from changed my perspective in life in a way that I had never been able to see before. It was truly transcendental. From that moment, I knew that I had to share the experience I'd had that week. I had to share with the world the people that I met there and befriended, and taught me something about being human that I had never known before. It completely changed me. That is the reason that I wrote this book, The Flawed Ones, to give a voice to those that I knew were voiceless and were never going to be known by the world, and also to prove that our shortcomings, our flaws, do not define who we are as human beings.